So how should investors think? I ask this to everybody who manages a nonlinear or convex type strategy. How should investors think about sizing position to your maybe not to your fund? Let's sort of generalize it, but to your type of fund, or right skewed nonlinear profile type funds in general. Is it purely an empirical analysis? Is it looking at the historical distribution of the fund versus the portfolio? Or seems to me that, again, we go back to this sort of small sample problem where you don't quite get the information that you need from that type of analysis. How do you think about this problem, or coach investors on how to think about it?
Yeah, that's one of the big questions we always get. And unfortunately, it's a subjective utility function, right? So everybody's pain threshold is different. That's the problem, right? And so my first question to people is, well, how much are you long, right? Are you hedging a market neutral book, or are you hedging a 100% long equity portfolio? That's A and B, right? In different landscapes, right? So that's I guess a major bifurcation. Now you step out of that, say, well, irregardless of which one of those you have, what is your pain threshold? Are you willing to do you allow for a 10% drawdown, and that's fine for you, or not you, but your investor base if you're a fund of funds, right? Is that okay for you? And so we just try to go through that range of questions and then come up with, and I mean, because that's the problem for some people. They don't need to be hedged up to 10% down, but they don't want to ever have a 30% drawdown like what happened 6 months ago. So that means, you need this much. But if you're someone who is like what I did initially, was you have a tight market neutral portfolio, you're trying to make 60, 70 bips a month, right? And steady. And the one risk you have are these negative skew events. And so you want that, whatever size drawdown that is, you want that to be a flat month. How do I do that? That's a very particular analysis. So there, we have no choice but to be a little bit empirical and say, okay, if we take all market neutral events, and there was the 2011 crack, and go down the list of the quant quakes, what were they all roughly in magnitude, and how much do we need of this to offset that, and how much bleed will that be to your average month, right? That's a pretty simple quant to do. That's how we would approach it. But it's really subjective to the party that we're speaking to.